you've got to understand, my mind just wasn't hardly functioning. I wasn't in a good spot. So I'm just there by myself, and I plug the DVDs in and start watching them. And I'm like, by that evening, I'm like, I don't know what it's going to take, but I've got to talk to Doc. Because it was the first real glimmer of hope that I had had. Yeah, so I had my first session with Doc, and I'll never forget that. Let's see if I can get through this. Just the kindness and love in his eyes, and total lack of any judgment. And I just was able to share my story, and he just loved me where I was at and gave me hope. So, one-way ticket to Puerto Rico. I found an apartment to rent near the beach, and I ended up staying for 7 weeks. Best 7 weeks of my life. Well, almost.
I love it. I love it.
Transformation takes time, and I remember asking Doc, how long can I expect this to take? And his answer was, you can't speed it up, but you can sure slow it down. And I set my intention that day that I was not going to do anything to slow it down, that I could help. I was full throttle. Full throttle. So we were separated. Charlie and I were separated at that point, and honestly, in my mind, I didn't see any hope for reconciliation. I honestly thought that things were over for good. We had gone through several separations in the course of our marriage, anywhere from a couple nights at a time to months. But this, for me, just felt like the final one. I wanted to make some decisions about the marriage, and Doc even encouraged me to do that from a healthy place. So the focus was on Cindy getting healthy. Yeah.
I was pretty broken. Yeah. Because when Cindy was doing her world tour, I didn't know where she was most of the time. It's just like she was gone. And that was pretty devastating. It was hard. Broken. I was so hurt and dysfunctional that when you're wounded to a certain point, it's hard to have hope and breathe, even though you know you're doing the right things and you're staying on course with things that you feel really convicted about. It was hard to breathe. It was really difficult. The whole premise of my life, being married or not, will that be continued, was I believe, I knew and I had a confidence that it would, but I didn't have any proof or any evidence of that. It was just, I was invited by Cindy to come out to Puerto Rico. And she just said, you can come if you want. So I didn't, it's not like I want to see you. It was just like, you can come if you want, because this is where I'm at. So I was like, well, oh. So I decided to go. And it was brutal. Yeah. I was thinking, oh, I'm going to get to see Cindy. She goes horseback riding. Didn't tell me. Just goes. That there have been so many big changes in my life. I mean, personal changes, changes that some people may never know about, but I do. And I love it. I love the difference of the old Charlie and who I am now. And I know some of those old things attributed to the decay in our marriage, the problems that I personally have. And so I'm just excited to not have that as a part of who I am anymore. Ever. None. I mean, the biggest difference now is I don't have the fear that I had when she was gone. And even if for some reason Cindy felt like she needed to go somewhere for a year again, it would be okay now. Yeah. Well, you know, guys always give you the 7 or 8, and the girls always give you the 4 or 5. You know, they're always like, "Ugh," and the guys are saying, "Oh, that's pretty good." Well, you know, and I know I used to be a marriage counselor. Guys are a little slow to get it, you know, like, "Hey, your marriage sucks. Did you realize that?" Well, I didn't realize it so much. I thought it was okay. But now that it's okay, really okay, I look back and I go, "It sucked." You know, it's like, it was terrible. So I see what a healthy person individually can become, and then when 2 healthy people come together in a marriage, then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it wasn't good. But I depended on a lot of things to make me feel whole that I had no business depending on. My marriage, my business, how I get along with people. And I think when I became healthy just with me and loving myself and becoming, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. I know who I am, and I definitely choose her. And she's but it's from a whole different place now. Yeah. It's weird being married for 20 years and then starting over. I mean, it's like, so you catch yourself in the act trying to, thinking maybe old ways, and so 100% better, but still so much that we can learn to do together and about each other. Yeah. It's not the same. We didn't go back to anything. We started over.
So cool.
Yeah.
I'm living the dreams that I wrote down on that paper. And those things are manifesting, whether that be in my marriage or my personal life or my business and other relationships. I'm beginning to live the life that I feel like I was always meant to live, and never really knew how to because of all the other stuff. And it's exciting. I love getting up in the morning. Yeah, I love my life. So Charlie hit it on the head. It's growing. It's a completely new relationship. And we intentionally renewed our vows because of that. Neither one of us wanted the old. We just enjoy being with each other. Whereas before, there was a lot of conflict, tension, just undercurrent. And when it wasn't just outright shouting matches, it was undercurrent. And neither one of us were happy, really. Yeah, so the advice I would give them is definitely don't give up before you have given this process a chance. And really work on yourself, focus on yourself. The more you do that, the better chance you'll have of not only having a great marriage, but of having a great life. And it's a win-win. You can't lose. So whatever it takes, you're investing in yourself, and you're worth that. And could be that your marriage is worth it too.
Okay, guys, let me talk to you. I know how to do that better than the girls. You know, the whole pride, the whole you can have a new life. You can have a completely new you. And start with not making that anything to do with your marriage. Just and put yourself in the center of the ring and work on you. And you know, the program that Doc helped us with, he will really be honest with you about, he'll be able to help you find out where you're at and what you need, where you need to start, because we're all different. All of us have our stuff. But if you can become really strong and confident in who you are, you want to be that, period, regardless of who you're in relationship with or what kind of job you do or what your kids are, regardless. You want to become the man you're meant to be, period. So if you try to save your marriage, you probably will lose it. If you try to save your own heart and try to save your own self by becoming a really strong, authentic, in touch with who you are, how much you're loved, how amazing you are, just you. You won't only be able to approach your marriage again. There's no limit. There's literally nothing you can't do. Like you got to learn this stuff, and you got to realize it's really true. Like when we could fight every 2 weeks, and man, they were awesome. They were like mega fights. But one of the main things that we've really developed and learned, and there is so many, but just one thing, is when they come to you, when she comes to me about something, it's not about me. It's about her. Keep it about her. Don't make it personal. Don't think you've done something terrible, wrong, or anything. Listen to her heart. Let it just stay about her. But I just encourage you that you can do this. Become who you are first, and then, nothing's impossible.
I have a lot of respect for this guy here. Gratitude.
I always loved Cindy because she was a dynamic person, beautiful, pretty. But those were things. I think I know her heart now. And I actually think I know her now. And that's extremely important to me. It's not too expensive. You can afford it. You know, it seems like, what? Are you serious? I can't afford that. I got to work. You cannot not afford it. Because you can screw up the rest of your life you want, and that's extremely expensive. Or you can learn a few of these simple principles and do some of this stuff and actually become amazed at how much you may like yourself if you get healthy.